Hello everyone, Psychic Readings by Brandi here, and we have a lot going on in the month of April. I'm introducing a new web series. I'll be using YouTube a lot more now, just because the social media platforms have been a little less reliable and their accessibility to video is very limited. So you'll see snippets on TikTok and Instagram. However, you'll see the actual videos on my YouTube channel, and they'll be much more in depth. There's going to be a lot of information I'll be sharing here. A lot of it's based upon questions that I get from you folks, and this is a space where I'm going to share what I have learned, information that I've experienced, and be answering a lot of questions. So if you have any questions that you'd like me to address on this feed, feel free to submit that in the comments. You can email it to me, psychicreadingsbybrandi@gmail.com. My website is www.psychicreadingsbybrandi.com, and that's Brandi with an I. And let's start off with some announcements here. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Brandi. I am a psychic clairvoyant and medium, and I have been practicing professionally now for about 12 years. I've always had abilities. I actually suppressed them quite a bit during childhood, but during my 20s, that's when I started having some paranormal experiences that I just couldn't explain. And I'm very science-minded, very skeptical myself, actually. And when I started having those experiences, I was actually worried that I might be schizophrenic. So I ended up going to visit a therapist because I wanted some help. And after some consults, I had come to a conclusion with this therapist that I was, in fact, not schizophrenic, and I was, in fact, having experience with some sort of psychic abilities. And so what this person recommended is that I end up getting some mentorship help, and I actually found a psychic medium who was also a psychotherapist and who was trauma informed and worked a lot with EMDR and other methods involving talk therapy for mostly veterans, actually, or folks that had experienced intense trauma. That mentor I studied with for about 2.5 years, and I studied under what's considered the Berkeley Lineage of psychic mediumship. And it's basically a technique that is taught in Berkeley, California to psychics. My mentor actually studied in Colorado at a subsidiary division of that school, and used it throughout her 20 years practicing as a psychic as well. And at the time that I needed help, it just so happened to have been opening a psychic school or workshop series in Madison, Wisconsin, where I was living. And so I signed up and I took classes and I studied with this person for about 3 years. And afterwards, I ended up initially just wanting to, initially I joined, I should say, because I wanted to actually turn my abilities off. I didn't want to experience those abilities anymore. I really wanted to get some sleep, some peace of mind. I was seeing things I didn't want to see. I was hearing things I didn't want to hear. It was very anxiety provoking. And so my main goal was actually to tone it all down, to just experience a sense of normalcy. After I finished the program, I ended up having practice reading for people, and I actually really enjoyed it because it was healing, it was helpful, it was a little bit more controlled chaos. And so I started practicing and I started reading for people, and my business has been growing for about 12 years now. I'm solely through word of mouth, and I do a variety of different things for my clients. One of the things that I practice is psychic clairvoyance. I also practice mediumship on occasion. I also do a lot with psychometry, and some of the energy work that I do involves Reiki or like chakra healing, just in general, a lot of different energy type of work. I'll go into depth on those a little bit more in additional videos, but this is just kind of like an overview of my skills. Most recently, I actually started learning tarot or tarot. I don't know why, but I have this accent where I call it tarot. And so I learned tarot about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I should say, just before the pandemic hit. So probably 2019, 2018 is when I was beginning my studies with tarot. And then I actually started studying astrology about a year ago. So I'm still practicing, still learning. The thing about tarot and astrology is you could learn forever in those areas. There's always something new to explore. There's always a different way to look at the symbolism, the elements, all of the artwork. And there's just a lot of new emerging ways of understanding that symbology according to how modern day society is evolving as well. So it's a really fun and unique field to explore. It's not really primarily what I do, but it's definitely something that I can offer. The other thing I just started recently, which I'm so excited about, is I'm teaching classes. So, this is so exciting. I actually taught my first class since the before time, I should say. Last week, I taught an aura cleansing class for the University of Wisconsin-Madison Society of Women in Engineering. And that was so much fun. We had about 15 women. I taught them in depth how to, I call it running your energy, and how to set a wonderful psychic boundary and cleanse your aura. It's something that I was really excited to teach because it's something I used early on in my career for preparing for like negotiations, for interviews, for high stress situations, meetings, lots of like heavier situations as well. And so it was a really useful skill that I had developed from psychic school that I really wanted to teach to these young women about to enter the field. And so that was a phenomenal class. We had a great time. I had so many questions in the end. I'm really looking forward to hosting another one of those classes in the future. Also, I am really excited to announce that I'll be teaching my basic psychic skills courses. So on the 30th of April, I'll be doing an in-person class, and it's a day-long workshop here in Janesville, Wisconsin. So it's just outside of Madison. And we'll be learning a lot of fundamental information and doing actual meditative practice. So it's a hands-on workshop. It's a day long. We're gonna be meeting from 10 a.m. till about 4 p.m. with a lunch break in between and a couple of smaller breaks too. But it's gonna be hands-on. It's gonna be in-person practice where you actually learn very important skills, really basic skills that you need if you end up wanting to develop your abilities to read. This class in particular is not geared towards reading other people. This is an ethical and professional course that I'm teaching on how to actually manage your own energy. So if you are an empathic, if you're someone who has abilities, you do not know what to do with them, you don't know how to turn them off, or you want to be able to kind of manage that energy or that experience and really get a handle on those skills and abilities so that you feel more empowered and in control, this is going to be a class for you. It's going to teach, we're going to start off with kind of basic information. What are the different psychic abilities? What are the different psychic skills? Then what we're going to do is we're going to cover some ethics, and we're going to talk about, if you do end up developing your abilities more, how to practice professionally and ethically. It also covers consent and ethics when it comes to your abilities and how you manage your space as well. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to cover grounding and how to really center ourselves and connect and really stay in our bodies and grounded so that we can feel mindful and present in everyday situations. And then what we're going to do is we're going to discuss boundaries. And with the boundary piece, we're going to basically look at our psychic aura. We're going to look at our energetic field, and we're going to actually practice putting up psychic barriers. And then we're actually going to look a little bit more in depth at that particular boundary and that particular barrier. And we're going to do a little bit of tune-up on that. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to look at a little bit of manifestation work, or kind of how we want to fill our energy field, how we want to fill our space and go about our day, and what we want our world and our life to look like. So it's going to be a really exciting class. I'm so excited to teach these meditations. We're also going to learn clearing. So if there's any kind of funk in your energy field, if there are any kind of like attachments, they're called, or like kind of cords that are really like stuck to your energy, we're going to learn how to clear all of that away. These are also tangible skills that you're going to be able to use at any time. So this is not like a one-time service where someone is doing the work for you. You're actually learning how to do these skills yourself, so you can do them anytime you need to do them. And it's just like a wonderful skill, a wonderful class. It's basically everything that I learned the first year of my time at psychic school. It's a fraction of the price, and it's a fraction of the time. So I hope you'll join me and sign up for that class. I'll be offering that in person on the 30th of April. It's a Saturday. And then I'll be offering a virtual version as well, and that's on May 1st, so the Sunday after that. So either way, you're going to get a wonderful experience. You're going to be able to really get some hands-on practice, some real practical and tangible tools that you can put to work right away. So I hope you'll join me. Again, intuitives, empathics, psychics. If you're experienced and you've had your psychic skills for quite a while, it's going to be a nice refresher also, because it's going to teach you a different method for how to approach your energy and working with your energy in a more organized way. So it's always good to learn. It's always good to learn different methods and new techniques. But really, for anybody who is a beginner, or they're feeling a little overwhelmed, or maybe lost, or they need some assistance with managing some of their potential abilities or skills, this is going to be a class for you. This is going to be a game changer. It's a safe space. It's a welcoming environment. So really, I'm going to have folks just come as they are. The most important part is you are comfortable and you have water and an open mind and you're ready to learn. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have lots of fun. So you can sign up for this class by clicking on the link in the description. If you're joining me watching this video through Instagram or another social media feed, you can click on the link in my bio or the link that's listed with this video, and you'll be able to sign up for the class there. Early bird pricing did end on the 31st of March, but the classes are definitely a reasonable price for what you're going to be getting. So I hope you'll join me. We're gonna have a great time. Let's see, what else is coming up? Tonight I just did an interview with a Madison journalist, and that particular article will be coming out in May. And the topic is on folks who are queer and who are essentially practicing spirituality that might be like surrounding like the occult or paganism. And as a psychic, I actually fall into that realm. And so I did an interview today with the lovely Sam. I cannot wait to see this article posted and printed. So I'll make sure to share that as soon as it comes out, but expect to see that in mid-May. I also have another exciting announcement. So many great things coming up. So June, the first weekend of June, the first Friday of June, will be the release date for season 3 of my podcast, which is Psychic Stories to Tell in the Dark. Really exciting news. Last year, I've actually trademarked the title of my podcast, so it's officially registered through the U.S. patent system. And I'm really excited because our first guest for this season is a Llewellyn author. Their name is Mortalis. They're a mortician, a necromancer, a very wonderful witch, and an amazing person. I got to speak with this person multiple times this spring and winter, and I was just so thrilled to have this person on my podcast. So they'll be telling a fantastic story about kind of an ancestral spirit that the children in their family have experienced for a couple of generations now. So I hope you'll tune in and listen to that episode. That is going to be released the first Friday of June. So make sure that you follow and subscribe the podcast if you want the instant notification of when that's available. Again, it's called Psychic Stories to Tell in the Dark. And I recommend, if you have an Apple product, I recommend subscribing to the podcast through that means. Usually I get the most reviews and ratings, and it's just so much easier for some reason to use that particular software. But you can find it anywhere you get your podcast: Google, Stitcher, Amazon, pretty much anywhere. Let's see, what else? In May, mid-May, the 14th and 15th, I'll be at the Janesville Renaissance Festival, which I'm really excited about. I've actually never been to a Ren Fair before, and I thought it'd be a really fun community opportunity to get engaged and really just like enjoy this event. So I'll have a little booth set up. You can come and get a tarot reading or a psychic reading, and I'll be there just having a great time that weekend. So check it out. It's the Janesville Ren Fair in Wisconsin, and I cannot wait to see you there. In addition, I have one more announcement I'm going to make. I am actually learning Reiki level 1 and 2 this coming weekend. So I'm really excited. I'm going to start offering Reiki energy healing this summer, and I cannot wait to get my hands busy with that beautiful healing energy. I took a Reiki self-care class last year with Jillian's Healing Art Center. Jillian is so talented, so amazing, so sweet. And I believe Jillian offers not just yoga, not just Reiki, but also like some sort of goddess workshop as well. I just really encourage you to check out Jillian if you're considering doing some Reiki. Just such a wonderful soul. I'll be sitting with a different practitioner for my Reiki 1 and 2 that's nearby in my area. But if you're one of those people who you're kind of remote, or you're in a rural spot and you're just not able to find a practitioner near you, Jillian is a really fantastic person to learn from. What else? Let's see. I feel like there's one other piece I forgot to mention. Oh, yes. Okay, so any announcements that I'm making on new class offerings, any sales, anything special that I'm a part of, in order to get the best prices on things, in order to get the information right away, sign up for my newsletter. I only send information that's relevant to you. It's really not packed with random marketing pieces. It's really just straight into the point. So if you are looking for better deals on things, and you want to be really like in the know first, so that, for example, with my psychic classes, the class load is going to be the capacity is going to be around 5 people. Those slots fill up really quickly. So if you want to be part of that class, you'll probably want to be in the newsletter so that you have first priority to signing up for those courses. So that's one example. In addition, if I have some sales that I'm participating in, like collaborations, or if there's a special holiday event, like maybe I'm doing a Black Friday sale or something like that in November, that is going to be the docket that you want to be on. You want to be on that newsletter distribution list. Okay, so I think those are all of the items that I was going to cover today. Please feel free to follow me, share, like, subscribe, comment on this YouTube channel because I'll be posting lots of fun things here. I will be doing informative videos. We'll be talking about different topics. I'll be answering questions if you submit me questions. And I have some fun things planned too. So I'm really looking forward to this. Thank you for joining me tonight and for supporting me. I am just really grateful that I can do what I'm doing. I feel so blessed because what I do with my business, I give it right back to my community. So for example, last year, my proceeds went to supporting the Janesville Pride Committee. And what we did was we threw an event called Pride in the Park. And I was really excited to be a metaphysical resource for that event. We actually had a couple of thousand people attend. It was outdoors. It was a beautiful fall day. I mean, we just manifested the most perfect weather. And we just had the most wonderful people show up. It was an event that was planned on the weekend before Indigenous Peoples Day because we wanted to, and also National Coming Out Day, because we really wanted to honor our ancestors who actually inhabited the land that we were part of, that we're living on now, but also to honor the queerness of Indigenous individuals. So if you don't know anything about Two-Spirit people, I recommend you look it up. I'm going to be covering that topic on this channel as well. But I had a lovely altar that was set up in my booth, basically displaying lots of queer spiritual people that really helped kind of pave the way throughout history. And they were pretty badass. They were pretty big warriors. So that was kind of fun to see folks there asking questions, learning stuff. It felt like I had like almost a mini museum display. And then I answered a lot of questions for people who were empaths, people who were psychics as well, and they just, you know, may not have had the ability to kind of get a handle on their skills, or they needed help or guidance, or just to talk to someone who was like them. The other reason we held the event in October is because it was more geared towards resource development, and really the goal was to get ahead of coming out day, because anyone who does come out, you're usually more subject to homelessness, to violence, to rejection. And so there were lots and lots of orgs there providing resources, just a wonderful sense of community and camaraderie so that folks did not feel alone. And that way they had the information they needed in case, you know, they came out and things went awry for them the following week. So our goal was basically to focus on reducing violence and homelessness against folks that are part of the queer community here in my county. And it just was like an amazing first event. So that is one example of where the funds from any service that you book, any reading that you book, any private event that you book, that's just one example of where the money goes. Oh, and another thing I completely forgot, I'm also booking private events. So as I had mentioned, classes are open. I'm booking for weddings, showers, bachelorette parties, you name it, birthday parties. If you have a staff event where you'd like to host some sort of an appreciation party, we can work something out. I can teach a class. I can do mini tarot sessions. Soon I'll be able to do Reiki. So it's just going to be such a good year. 2022 is just shaping up to be wonderful. And I can't wait to work with y'all. I can't wait to have more on this channel. So thank you for tuning in.